So was that the most exciting World Cup final ever? New Zealand do it, they win the Women's World Cup 34-31 against England. And I thought you were going to score.
Ask a better question, you get a better answer.
Hi guys, welcome back. Let's get into this game, an absolute thriller. You may have seen myself and Zach talk about this final earlier in the week. We both backed our own teams and both teams could have won it. New Zealand come out on top, they deserve it. England will be absolutely gutted. They know in different circumstances that they could have won it. But what a thrilling game, came down right to the end. Let's talk about some of the key things here. And at the beginning, England had pulled ahead. They got a couple of tries, one wide, one maul, looking pretty good. And then the huge leveller, Lydia Thompson sent off for a high tackle. I mean, it's her own fault. That's what happens in sport. But in a strange way, it kind of made the game in a way. Could England have pulled away a bit if they'd stayed at 15 players? Well, you never know. But they gave it a good crack with 14. In the end, not enough. That will probably be talked about as the decisive moment. Like I said, you never know exactly how it would have happened. But, I mean, she'll be absolutely devastated. And it does help New Zealand's tactics because they've got so many sevens players, they want to run the ball from almost anywhere. They're good enough to do it. It's also that they don't have the best kicking game. I think Coxhead's probably got the best kicking game from 9, but they don't really have the punters out of hand in the back line. So they use their skills, they use their ruck speed, and it works. And the whole game, England really struggle to slow down that New Zealand ball. There's not also a huge amount of rucks when they do offload as well, New Zealand, so very difficult to defend, but England really struggled to slow that ruck speed, and that was a deciding factor. To be fair to New Zealand though, their power game, their maul game is pretty good as well. When they get close to the line, they can score as well, but it's Amy Cockayne and the England maul that is on a different level, looking really destructive in this first half. Harrison's kicking fairly well out of hand, and if England can slow down and control this game, I was thinking in the first half they might be able to do it. But with 14 players and fatigue, there's going to be more holes for New Zealand's ball-moving attack. So at half-time, it was 26-19, and then the excitement really happens in the second half. Then in the second half, Flula starts and finishes a wonder try right at the beginning. What an unbelievable player. She is so quick, so skillful. The New Zealand passing and speed is on a different level to England. It does look like they're chasing shadows at times. I made a note here, maybe they should consider playing actually 7 forwards and a full set of backs at this point. I don't know if that was a good call or not, but they were just getting round England so easily. And at this point, England's tactics weren't the best. They're trying to play like they've still got 15 on the pitch, trying to play a fast ruck game when really they need to leave the ball in the scrum, slow it down, play one out. They do go to that in the end, but they get a bit excited at the beginning, playing into New Zealand's hands for sure. England have some good possession and control, but they go for a chip, which was a bit of a terrible mistake. It leads to a good box kick from Coxedge, and then Big Murray, who's on for New Zealand, crashes over to take the lead, and from then on the momentum was probably with New Zealand, although England kept pegging them back. And then the game's going to go to the end, I wrote at this point, but it's better from England. About 15 minutes into the second half, they do leave the ball in that scrum, take multiple scrums until they get the penalties, kick them all, Cockayne scores, England retake the lead. That's what they need to do, that's their blueprint. But then when New Zealand get back on the ball, their ruck speed is so good. They just can't slow it down, and they're kind of relying on New Zealand's errors to keep them in the game, which do come a bit, not a lot, but it does come eventually. On 62 minutes, New Zealand face plays in the 22, and it really looks like they're going to retake the lead and maybe pull ahead, but England finally get a jackal on the ball. I think it's one of their front rows. I'm not quite sure which one. I think it maybe was the tight head. But anyway, 5 metres from their own line. That was a big play, I thought. Then another big moment as England maybe start to edge back into this. Abby Dow uses her speed to run round the cover. Simon hits her high. It's close, but it's a yellow card. Could that be the break England need? They maul for as long as they can, but they are looking tired. They're playing sensible, they're grinding. But in this last quarter, New Zealand's defence was very disciplined. They made their tackles, they soaked up that pressure from England, and they didn't give away many penalties until right at the end. Who's going to blink first? They're both tiring. It's 14 versus 14. New Zealand can't quite find the edges as much. Now, towards the end, England was starting to slip off tackles, actually. They've got to stop New Zealand on the gain line because their forward face play is so good. And it's that player, Flula, again that makes it happen. Regathers a grubber, pops off the floor to Letty Liga, who crashes over the winger. They retake the lead, New Zealand. Don't get the kick. Didn't get many kicks, but it's 34-31. A few minutes to go. Do England get a final chance? And yes, they do. This looks exactly like what England need. 3 penalties, 3 mauls, the last one 5 metres out. Surely this is their bread and butter. They decide to go for a front ball with speed of jump to get the line out. New Zealand compete and steal. Wow, talk about World Cup winning moments. They kick it off the park. Eden Park goes bananas. New Zealand deserved that just through the phenomenal phase play and handling and speed. But England, they were close, and they will think if they'd kept 15 on the pitch, maybe it would have been different. And if they'd executed that last maul, maybe it could have been different. But if, buts and maybes, they didn't get it done. New Zealand did. So once again, congratulations to New Zealand. A phenomenal performance in Eden Park. Crowd going bonkers. What a way to do it. World Cup champions yet again. Congratulations to them. All the comments below, and I'll catch you next time.